I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who supports this project and to all those who have subscribed to the channel. We deeply appreciate your support, and this tribute goes out to you, especially the new members of our community. It's essential to remember to activate notifications by clicking on the bell icon and selecting All, so you'll receive alerts on your phone or tablet whenever a new video is released. Today, we'll be discussing Omarin Hampton, the running back from North Carolina, who is currently visiting Hall for a draft meeting. His journey has been confirmed by several sources, and we'll take a closer look at this UNC running back, whom we've mentioned before and who is undoubtedly one of the top players at his position in this year's draft. Something I've brought up before, and will emphasize again, is his remarkable performance last season, even without a standout quarterback or a consistent passing attack. He faced well-organized defenses that knew North Carolina struggled to pass the ball, yet he continued to shine as a runner. Moreover, Hampton was often used as a receiver, since in the absence of a dynamic aerial offense, college teams typically rely on screen plays, tossing the ball to the running back. He embraced that role and nearly reached 2,000 total yards from scrimmage. It's common for a running back to struggle the year after a breakout season due to physical wear and tear. We've seen this happen before. Players who enter a season with first-round expectations but fail to replicate their earlier success. While I still view him as a strong option for mid-round selections, there's no denying that Hampton didn't just maintain his previous level. He seems to have elevated it, especially when factoring in the lack of a reliable passing game. He combines production, size, and athletic ability in an impressive way. The only real limitation in his game, which is a trend among many top backs in this draft, is his pass blocking. He's not poor in that area, but he doesn't stand out either. This applies to most high-profile running backs in this class, except for one who truly excels in pass protection. Although I've started to consider a different alignment, I still find Hampton a very appealing option. There's a less ideal draft scenario that could unfold on draft night, where only one quarterback is selected in the top 10. Let's imagine a team decides to pass on a quarterback and opts for a high-impact player instead. Some of the top names could be off the board. I genuinely believe there's a real chance the Bears could select Omarin Hampton at the 10th pick. He's already been interviewed as part of a top 30 visit, so he's likely on their radar. Trading down is certainly an option they consider. Could another name be in the mix? Could a more familiar player be one of the choices? I'd definitely like to know. The inclusion of Stewart in the top 30 visit list suggests he's being considered, although that idea makes me slightly uneasy. It's clear that trading down is something to think about. Could Loveland Colston be in play? What about Mike Williams? Could he be a viable choice? I'd certainly prefer him over Stewart. There's also the possibility of a surprise pick, like a safety or Jahad Campbell, or even an offensive lineman like Kelvin Banks or Josh Simmons. However, if the draft unfolds in that direction, I wouldn't be shocked to see Omarin Hampton as the final pick. Honestly, in a less-than-ideal scenario, I'd be more than comfortable with Hampton. While it still feels a bit early, in a draft lacking a clear abundance of elite stars, I suspect the top-tier talent may already be gone by then. I believe Hampton belongs to that next group of athletes. He's a back who could play an essential role on every down in the NFL, and I admire how well he fits the scheme. I also like the idea of a dynamic partnership with DeAndre Swift. I'm very open to that possibility and would love a scenario where they trade down from the 10th pick, perhaps to somewhere between 13 and 17. Even so, I'd be completely fine if he were chosen at number 10, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Would you be satisfied with Hampton at 10? I certainly would accept that outcome. On the other hand, if they selected him instead of Tyler Warren or Will Campbell, I wouldn't be thrilled, as I consider those two superior prospects. But if the 5 or 6 players I truly value are already off the board, I'd be at peace with the choice. I reiterate that I believe he's one of the players under serious consideration, and I definitely prefer Hampton over Stewart at number 10. So yes, I'd say I'm in. Elsewhere, a new offensive guard recently gave an interview where he shared his thoughts on Caleb Williams and talked about his journey of recovery and contributing to a turnaround, similar to a previous situation he experienced as he prepares for the new season. We'll dive deeper into that soon, but first, I'd like to share some insights with you. Regarding Caleb Williams, The guard praised his ability to bounce back and help guide a team through a shift in direction, just as he had done before. We'll explore that later, but for now, it's worth noting that the NBA postseason is underway, a great opportunity to create lasting memories. A few years ago, this player signed a meaningful contract with a Los Angeles team, which, as we know, underperformed last season. They attempted to move him to center, but the strategy backfired due to multiple injuries. Now, he's with the Bears, and that's definitely worth highlighting. But more than anything, it's his mindset that stands out. He's focused on winning rather than seeking personal recognition. His goal is to help lead a resurgence and win a championship ring. Whether that's a realistic goal for this year remains uncertain, but it should be the prevailing mindset in almost every locker room each new season. Of course, there are exceptions, like during Ryan Pohl's first year, when the team wasn't in a position to compete for a Super Bowl. However, there's now enough talent for every player in the locker room to aim high. The chance of achieving that in 2025 still needs to be assessed, as many factors must align. Caleb Williams will need to perform at a high level. The defense must improve its pass rush, and the offensive line has to deliver on the expectations set by significant investments. The status of Jonah Jackson and his return to Pro Bowl form will be crucial in this plan. The Bears have been proactive with their investments. They signed Drew Dolman as their starting center in free agency, traded for Joe Thuney, a four-time All-Pro and Super Bowl champion, and added Jonah Jackson, a player expected to bring attitude and determination to the offensive line. It's reflected in the stats, too. I came across a chart on social media showing the Bears now have the fourth highest paid offensive line in the NFL, a dramatic shift from their usual spot near the bottom for years. The saying goes, you get what you pay for, and that often proves true. Take the Panthers, for example. Suddenly, Bryce Young showed at least a serviceable level of performance last year, and I believe the investment in the offensive line played a key role in Chuba Hubbard's standout season. They're finally making the right moves in a crucial area. Now, as they prepare to potentially invest $60 million per year in a player like Caleb Williams, if everything clicks, they'll need to be strategic with resource allocation. With a young talent like him, protecting him is critical, something that didn't happen last year. When speaking about Caleb Williams, it was noted that despite being sacked 68 times, he kept fighting and pushing forward. Protecting Caleb and keeping his eyes downfield instead of on the pressure will allow him to play with more confidence and make spectacular plays. We don't talk enough about the importance of maintaining field vision. Too often last year, we saw quarterbacks, including Caleb, drop their eyes when protection broke down. This isn't a slight against him, but when trusting your offensive line fades, your eyes instinctively drop to find the threat. Even if a quarterback doesn't verbalize it, that lack of faith in the five guys in front of him shows on the field. Caleb did what was expected of him, but the lack of protection led him to miss opportunities. In the NFL, you have just 2 to 3 seconds, if you're lucky, to deliver the ball. If your eyes drop within the first 2 seconds, you won't be able to progress through your reads. So investing in the line and giving him a clear field view will be crucial for Caleb's development in year 2, especially now that he's had time to learn the system. If he can trust players like Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney, especially on the interior, where quarterbacks say pressure is most disruptive, then there's no reason Caleb Williams can't take a big step forward this season. That's why they added 3 new interior starters. If this group holds up, there's no reason to doubt that Caleb can thrive in his second NFL season and his first under a new offensive coordinator. The big question is, can Caleb Williams shine? Quarterbacks often say they can handle edge pressure better than interior pressure, which explains the team's focus on strengthening that part of the line. If the unit performs well, there's no reason Caleb Williams can't make major strides in year 2, especially under the guidance of a top-tier coach. What do you think? Will Caleb Williams have a breakout season this year? Breakout can be a broad term. Will he play at the level we expected when he was drafted first overall? I personally see that as a real possibility. Will that make him an MVP candidate? Probably not. But could he be seen as a top 10 quarterback? Absolutely. He has the talent, and the pieces around him are falling into place. With a great offensive strategist and a solid running back added to the mix, much will depend on Caleb's performance. A decisive year is unfolding for number 18, and I see no reason it can't be a winning one. Thanks for following along. Just 10 days to go until the draft. This is the place for all things related to this team. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The buzz around the Chicago Bears' pursuit of Jawan Taylor has been growing louder over the past few days, and with good reason. Taylor, who was a crucial part of the Kansas City Chiefs' offensive line during their victorious Super Bowl 58 campaign, is now the subject of intense speculation. The 26-year-old tackle, known for his dominant presence on the field, has been the focal point of rumors swirling around the Bears' strategy to bolster their offensive line. After his standout performances, particularly in Kansas City's road to another Super Bowl appearance, many believe Taylor was a lock to remain with the Chiefs. But now, Chicago is making a serious push to bring him to the Windy City. The rumors began to gain momentum after a series of reports indicated that the Bears were actively courting Taylor, offering a hefty deal that could see the tackle leave the Chiefs after just one season. This, of course, raised eyebrows in the league. Taylor, who inked a lucrative 4-year, $80 million contract with Kansas City in 2023, helped the Chiefs' offense excel, despite their Super Bowl 59 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. His performance at right tackle had become a linchpin for the team's success, and losing him would certainly leave a void in the Chiefs' offensive line. But Chicago, with its own goals of rebuilding and becoming a contender in the NFC, has other plans. The Bears are not just eyeing Taylor for his past success, but for the potential he holds to anchor their line for years to come. Chicago's interest in Taylor isn't simply a reaction to his Super Bowl pedigree. It's about filling a critical need. The Bears, who have struggled with their offensive line in recent years, see Taylor as a centerpiece for their future offensive strategies. His experience and proficiency in protecting the quarterback make him a highly sought-after commodity, and with Chicago's young quarterback, Justin Fields, under pressure to develop, securing a stalwart like Taylor could be a game-changer. The potential to pair Taylor with a revamped offensive line could provide Fields with the protection he needs to thrive, and with the Bears' sights set on future success. This move could be the first step in creating a more formidable offense. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact that Taylor's potential departure from Kansas City marks a significant shift in the league's power dynamics. While many expected the Chiefs to retain their Super Bowl winning linemen, the Bears' offer is clearly compelling. Chicago has the cap space and the drive to make such a splash in the free agent market, and the chance to land a player of Taylor's caliber would be a massive coup for the organization. On the flip side, this decision would undoubtedly leave Kansas City scrambling to replace one of its most dependable players on the offensive front, which could have ripple effects on their ability to contend for future championships. As the situation develops, the football world watches closely. If the Bears succeed in securing Taylor, it would mark a bold and significant move for an organization looking to return to relevance in the NFC. But if Kansas City can manage to retain the 6'5", 312-pound tackle, it would prove their ability to keep their core intact and continue to build for another title run. The stakes are high, and the drama surrounding Jawan Taylor's future has only just begun. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.